everybody. Welcome to Live at 5 here at Broadway.com. It is Tuesday, August 14th. Happy 36th wedding anniversary to Caitlin Moynihan's parents.
Aww.
And isn't that lovely? And I am Ryan Lee Gilbert.
And I'm Beth Stevens.
And we are joined by Caitlin Moynihan herself.
Hi,
Mom and Dad.
Say happy anniversary to
Happy
your parents.
anniversary, Mom and Dad. Love you.
at that.
36 years. Good job.
And we have an incredible guest with us today. We have Andrew Durand from Head Over Heels.
Head Over Heels.
So excited to talk to him. But first, we have today's Top 5.
A new cool mom is coming to Broadway.
Right. So thank you. Thank you, Caitlin. Yes, Caitlin.
She means you.
But no. So Mean Girls
Yes.
The musical.
Huge. Yeah.
is having its first cast change.
Oh,
Major.
yeah.
Carrie
Yeah.
Butler, who we love, is
amazing.
leaving on September 9th, and Jennifer Samard is taking over.
Amazing casting.
Jennifer, such good casting, right?
Great
Super
choice.
funny,
Yeah.
beautiful voice.
Absolutely.
Jennifer Samard was a Tony nominee for Disaster, the musical where she played the funniest nun
And
ever
she was
to grace
so
Broadway.
funny. And she was
recently
recently
in Hello Dolly,
Dolly.
of course.
Right.
So she starts September 11th.
Amazing.
And we found out who's going to have the golden ticket all around the country.
Yes, the national tour of Roald Dahl's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is hitting the road on September 21st of this year, kicking off in Buffalo. And we know that Noah Weisberg will be playing Willy Wonka. And there are 3 young actors sharing the role of Charlie: Henry Boshart, Colin Jeffrey, and Ruby Wood. And we got some more casting for the tour. Kathy Fitzgerald is
Yes!
sticking around. She's going to play Mrs. Gloop again. And we also have Daniel Quadrino, who was recently in Wicked, but you might also know him from Newsies. He will be playing Mike TV. Jessica Cohen will be Veruca Salt. And we also have James Young as Grandpa Joe, Amanda Rose as Mrs. Bucket, Madeline Doherty as Mrs. TV, Nathaniel Hackman as Mr. Salt, David Samuel as Mr. Beauregard, Bryn Williams as Violet Beauregard, and Matt Wood as Augustus Gloop. They're all
Cool.
headed to
Wow.
the factory to cause mayhem, get involved in some
That's
Oompa
Kathy
Loompas.
Fitzgerald's specialty, causing
She's
mayhem.
Absolutely, and she's fantastic at it. Can't
Yes.
wait to see that.
Love it. And full casting has been announced for an exciting upcoming off-Broadway show.
This is a hot ticket.
This is
gonna
a
be
hot
so
ticket.
This is a hot ticket. We are talking about Mother of the Maid. That's not what you take at Niagara Falls. I know you're thinking that. Were you thinking it?
I have heard
No,
of
no,
it.
no,
Yeah.
no. This is Glenn Close off Broadway at the Public Theater. But listen to the rest of this cast. So good. Dermot Crowley, Olivia Gilliatt, Kate Jennings Grant, Andrew Hovelson, Daniel Pierce, Grace Van Patten as Grace Van Patten is Joan of Arc
Joan of
because Glenn Close plays the mother of Joan of Arc. She has a name, Isabel. Okay. This
Was
was
that
written
Joan of
by.
Arc's mother's real name?
I don't know.
I don't know
Am
either.
I supposed to?
Sorry, that was your quiz.
Pop quiz.
I don't know. I'm sure Condola Rashad knows. This is written by Jane Anderson, directed by Matthew Penn. Begins September 25th with opening night set for October 17th. There's already been a 2-week extension announced.
Yeah,
It will close
that when those happen ahead of
because
time,
it's a
you know.
hot
Yeah,
ticket,
Glenn
as I
Close.
said. So it closes as of right now, December 2nd.
My birthday.
Oh, happy birthday,
Thank
December
you. Well, it's
2nd.
way
We
off.
expect you all to remember this. We expect you all to remember.
And more off-Broadway news. Another show's coming off-Broadway. And spoiler alert, it's not about mermaids.
No.
I thought it was.
Don't be
Did you think
confused.
that?
by-
I did.
What?
Well,
Oh,
but it's
okay.
called the Book of Mormon,
See?
but you could have read that
I
as the
didn't
Book
think-
of Merman. Is
That's
that where you?
you know,
okay.
that's how I, yeah, that's how I
Well,
We're
it's
talking
not
about Ethel.
It's about Ethel Merman.
Hello.
Yes. It's called The Book of Mormon. It will make its off-Broadway debut at St. Luke's Theater beginning on October 5th. It'll open October 21st, and it tells the story of 2 Mormon missionaries, stop me if you know this one, who unknowingly ring the doorbell of Tony-winning Broadway icon Ethel Merman. Chad Burris and Kyle Ash Wilkinson will be playing those Mormon missionaries, and YouTube star Carly Sakaloff, who does like those great vocal impressions you may have seen. She's like really good at doing Idina Menzel and Patti LaBelle.
Ethel Merman.
Yes, she will be playing Ethel Merman, of course. Original score by Leo Schwartz and a book by Schwartz and DC Cathro, directed by Joe Langworth. October 5th, St. Luke's Theater. Sounds hilarious.
Looks so fun.
It does.
And a Broadway favorite is taking on The First Family.
Okay, I'm going to have to give you some background.
This
on
is,
this one.
yeah. Let's dig
Everybody
in.
just relax. I'm going to
unpack
read
this
some
one.
things now. We're going to be reading off the paper. We're
Yes.
talking about Gina Gershon.
Yes.
You know her, you love her.
Icon.
Go on.
Go on. Yeah, well,
Gina
that's-
Gershon will spoof America's First Lady, that's Melania Trump, in case you haven't been paying attention to the headlines, and the New York premiere of, this is the title, the first annual Trump Family Special.
So it's parody of sorts, right?
Sure. It's an original musical comedy. It'll run every Thursday at 9:30 p.m., beginning on September 13th at the Triad Theater. Okay. Here's what are you ready for the plot?
I'm buckled.
You're riveted. You're riveted. By the way, this is created by Danny Salz and features he did the book, the lyrics, the direction, and then there's also additional music and lyrics by Grammy-nominated songwriters Tor Hyams and Lisa St. Louis. Okay, but let's get to the plot because you're ready.
This sounds great.
The first family gathers together to perform in a live televised event for the new Trump TV network. This doesn't sound that far-fetched.
So far.
So far,
this is all
it's putting the
real.
reality in reality TV.
Yeah.
But when the president runs late, host Ivanka stalls by interviewing various family members. When they are off camera, audiences find out what the family's really thinking.
Bum, bum.
And Gina Gershon's playing Melania.
That sounds
So watch out,
very
Benanti.
exciting. Oh,
That's
yeah.
all I have to say.
Coming
Yeah.
for you. Yeah.
Well,
true.
it's been a pleasure
Beth,
and a delight.
the pleasure has been all mine. Thank you so much for doing the news with me. Caitlin Moynihan, why don't you tell us a little bit about today's guest?
Of course. You guys, we have Andrew Durand in the studio today. We're super excited because he is currently starring in Head Over Heels, which, of course, features the music of the Go-Go's. He has previously been seen on Broadway in Spring Awakening and War Horse. Be sure to follow him on social media at Durandrew, because it's a play on of his first and last name going together. It's actually really funny. And leave all your questions in the comments below. Everyone, please welcome Ryan and Andrew.
Hello there, sir.
Hello.
Thanks so much for stopping by Live at 5.
Yeah, of
Is
course.
this is your first Live at 5 appearance,
Yes,
right?
it is.
What's
yeah.
taking so long?
I don't know. I guess it really resembles the set of Head Over Heels a little bit. Though.
It does,
Our-
right? There
our
are some
neon
absolute
sort of
Head Over Heels
old school
vibes.
theater vibes. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of
Very
Head Over
comfortable
Heels,
is what I'm saying.
we're happy you're comfortable. It's going to be a great chat. I love Head Over Heels. I'm super in love with this musical. The night I saw it, I believe I slacked all of my coworkers saying this is the musical I was going to be obsessed with for a while now. It's
confirm.
incredible. Huge fan. Walked out with merch. My husband and I both super loved it.
It's really good merch.
It's the merch is so amazing. I don't even have enough. I have to go back for more. But how did Head Over Heels come into your life? And for those that aren't familiar with it yet, why don't you tell us a little bit about the show as well?
Well, I did Head Over Heels, the first workshop out at New York Stage and Film about 2.5 years ago. Michael Mayer, who I know from Spring Awakening.
Absolutely.
Which was like 10 years ago or something now.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
he called me up and was like, I have this part. I think you'd be great for it. First time I'd heard from him in like 10 years. So
he's been busy.
Yeah, but for Michael Mayer, you drop everything and
Yeah,
go
absolutely.
out. So yeah, I went out and it's just like has been a crazy, fun, incredible journey. Like workshops and labs later, here we are on Broadway.
Yeah, like just this incredibly original musical just with so the music is the Go-Go's,
Yeah.
all of their like iconic songs, and tell us a little bit about the story then.
Yeah, it's not about the Go-Go's
No, exactly.
at all. It's loosely based on Sir Philip Sidney's Arcadia, which is like a really old, like thousands of pages long text. But we've sort of condensed it into like this royal family who receives sort of prophecies of doom from an oracle if they don't change their sort of traditions that are sort of holding them back as a society. And so it's all about sort of like discovery and a celebration of diversity, I would say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that, some of the best things in life don't sort of come to you until you love yourself and you accept who you are. And like, that's what's all waiting for you once you, and I, as a burgeoning young gay kid in the 80s, I was a big fan of the Go-Go's. I knew all of their songs. When I heard about this show with these, I didn't see how they would all fit in, but the songs fit in remarkably. Like, it's crazy how well they actually, it almost feels like it was written around the songs. Did it feel that way to you guys?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the songs further the story and help further the journeys of the characters, and it's really, and it's an exciting mashup, sort of that punk rock music with our sort of old school text and verse. It's great.
Yeah, and I mean, Twitter is in love with this musical as well. You can see people tweeting about it constantly, about encouraging people to come see it. How has the response been for you guys at the stage door with fans? I mean, do you have fans coming up and telling you how much they're loving it?
Yeah, our fans are amazing, and I think also greatly our gender non-conforming and non-binary fans, because this is the first time that they've had a show that sort of speaks for them and gives them a voice. And so we have people that are just like beside themselves at the stage door, just, you know, thanking us and thanking the show for speaking out.
Right.
For them.
And you have a couple of reunions acting wise in this show. So you were bringing up Spring Awakening.
Yeah.
Got to reunite with Alexandra Sosha in this show. How has that been?
That's been great. Yeah.
Your love interests.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So we have a rapport there, and it's great.
And Bonnie Milligan, who you worked with in Gigantic, which is so cool.
Yeah, we worked in Gigantic together. That was so much fun. She's just so awesome. I love being in a cast with her. She's so fun, and she's great in the show.
Yeah. Reflect a little bit about your Broadway journey. You made your debut in Spring Awakening.
Yep.
And then, which we said like 10 years ago, and then you had War Horse on Broadway. What was that experience like for you?
That was very intense, but really fun. I replaced...
Demanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I replaced in the company, but it was at the end of it was at the end of the first year of the show, so there was a big cast turnover, so we sort of had a whole new rehearsal process for the show, which was really a gift and really fun to do that. And it was like doing a Spielberg movie 8 times a week on stage.
Absolutely.
So it was exhausting and very different from this, but I've been very fortunate. It's been great. I love this community. And
yeah, absolutely. You grew up born and raised in Georgia, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And how did you get involved with performing? I believe I read something about you. You followed your sister's footsteps into performing.
Yeah, wow,
right?
you really know.
Yeah.
He knows a lot. Yeah, she did The Miracle Worker at a local community theater, and because that was a novel that kids were reading in school, my sister got to leave school to go perform this play, and I was like, you do shows and you get to leave school?
What is this that you're doing?
Yeah. So I started doing that when I was like 10 years old, and I just, like I said, fell in love with the community. Like, I helped build sets, I did the plays, I worked at the box office, I sold concessions, and I met my people, you know, like even in a small community theater in Atlanta, it's still just the theater person vibe is amazing and strong. You know?
And your first show, it was Heidi. And you nearly sustained an injury that nearly sidelined your acting career. Isn't that right?
Well, I did sustain an injury. Yeah, I busted my knee jumping off the front of the stage. You know, unions aren't very tight in the community theaters.
Right.
You know,
they're a little looser.
There was a tool cart in the aisle, and I just ran into it and sort of busted up my knee. And they made me like a removable cast, so I would wear it all the time, but then I could take it off to do the show.
Oh, okay.
It was really
How does
weird.
That work for the healing process?
Yeah. Well, and it wasn't. They didn't have boots or anything either. I don't know. It was like a literal cast that they sawed
that
open
you could just
on each side.
Take
and
off for periods of time.
Yeah. Yeah, they like strapped it together so I could just take it
Medicine. It's different.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
What was it about? Was it the community that kept you attached to performing, or did you just realize you had found your thing with, like, what spoke to you about it?
I think both of those things. I mean, I love being on stage and like being a fool and getting to just sort of forget about your worries and your personal stuff for a while, and you just get to live in something else and like you know, so yeah, I love that aspect of it, and I love playing. I love playing with my fellow actors. We all do it because we're hams as well. You know, I love to get some laughs, and then yeah, also the community. I just think it's like church in a way. It's like a religion. You know, it's like a very holy place. I guess, the theater.
You shed some clothing and head over heels.
Yes.
So that has to be a nerve-wracking thing. I would be very nerve-wracked about having to. But is there a workout routine that you've become attached to now to stay in shedding of clothing shape for the show?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I had a lot of time, thankfully, to like get ready for that. I'd say it was even worse when I had to do it in labs and stuff. You know, when we were doing labs at the show, it was like small rooms of 30 people.
Right.
Just like wearing my own underwear, just like take it all off. That was much
this
more.
This is just what I dressed in today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So it was mostly just like giving up things like pizza and beer and, you know.
Yeah, my daily diet.
Yeah.
That's it for me. And
Yeah.
you're not. Caitlin mentioned where people could follow you on social media, but you're not a big social media presence. You would say, right?
No, I'm not really.
Is that something? Is it a conscious decision, or just something you're not interested in?
No, I guess I just I'm not often inspired to do it. I mean.
You mean you don't feel like every thought you have is worth being published?
No, and I appreciate people that do it. I think it's like a sort of energy and a part of people that they have about themselves, and I think it can be really helpful for our show. Like, I love that people do it a lot, but yeah, I don't know. I guess. No, you're right.
Not
I
quite
don't
your
do it
thing.
that much.
That's all right.
But every now and then, I'm more like post a cool picture of a tree, or like me doing like a flip on vacation. You know, like, I don't know, the things that are really like special and interesting.
Sure.
To me in my personal life, I guess, is what I post, as opposed to, people can just come see the show if they want to.
Absolutely. And I want to open up the floor to some questions out there as well. But if you were not an actor, if you were not a performer, what do you think you would be doing? Where do you think your life would have brought you?
Oh my gosh.
Just because you've been involved with it your whole life. If there was ever anything
I know. I guess randomly the first thing that comes to my mind is a firefighter. I feel like I would be a fireman.
Right, yeah.
My cousin is a fireman in Portland, Oregon, and he loves it. And he used to be in rock bands, and he sort of got to
This
an
is
age.
the basis of a musical.
Yeah, right.
Getting the band back together?
He got to a point where he was like, well, what can I do that I can sustain my life, but I won't get bored doing it every day? And he landed on that. So I would say that, or if practically, I would probably do something that has to do with like therapy or something, or like performance therapy, things like that,
That's great.
helping people to solve their issues somehow through performance and role play and
very
things like
heroic quests. That's
Yes.
very nice.
Yeah.
I like that. Caitlin, what would our viewers and readers like to know from Andrew?
Yeah, I really like this question. In the spirit of Head Over Heels, what is your dream gender swapped role?
Ooh, wow, that's very good. Oh my gosh. My roommate's going to kill me if I don't say something good. He's like, he knows every diva and every... oh my
It's a
gosh.
good roommate. It's a good source.
I feel like it's got to be like Glenn Close. Glenn Close, how relevant. And what's the movie where she's like trying to kill, or she's like
Fatal
creepy
Attraction.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think it'd be that.
Spoil the bunny.
Just
Yeah, that's
just
a great
go
role.
nuts, Yeah.
A musical version
Yeah,
of Fatal Attraction.
Oh, was it musical?
No,
you
it
can do
wasn't.
whatever
But
you
no,
want.
that's what you
Yeah.
can. Yeah,
You can turn
I
it
like
into a
that.
musical.
Absolutely, it's
Yeah.
ripe.
It's your dream role. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I could probably keep the same wig from Head Over
I was
Heels.
going to
too.
say you
Just
can
kinda
probably carry over a
frazzle
lot.
it up a
yes.
little bit. Yeah.
We like to recycle here on Broadway.
Yeah.
It's fine. That's fine.
Very green.
Okay. Do you have a favorite moment of the show to watch or to see from the side or to experience?
Yes, two of our ensemble members, Ari and Justin, they do this awesome, there's a lot of sort of Vogue dancing woven into our show.
Yeah, Spencer Lift's choreography is unbelievable in this
And
show.
Ari and Justin have this little solo that they do in the opening number of our second act, which is Head Over Heels. That I can see it right from the wing every night, and I love watching it. Their energy is awesome.
Yeah. Do you typically like to, when you're not on stage, do you like to stay around to watch the show, or is it, if you've got the time?
When we first started, because I was so interested, how's it going? What's it? And now it's you have your time to chill.
Right.
You take it.
Have some water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you usually do during intermission?
During intermission, I go upstairs and I take all my clothes off pretty much. Because that dress is sweaty and hot.
Right.
I get zipped out of my dress,
Yes.
take my wig off, take off my high heels, and I just sit for 10 minutes.
Air conditioning.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you, at the end of the show, how do you decompress? What's your typical decompression mode when you're done?
Well, I have some awesome dressing room mates, Jeremy Kushner and Tom Allen Robbins.
Oh, amazing.
Nice.
My two
What
dudes.
a great, yeah.
Yeah, so we have a nice little setup. We have a little bar. Sometimes we have a drink.
Love it.
We have a nice bathroom, nice shower. Sometimes take a shower. Just sit for 10 minutes and talk to
And just
everybody.
chill.
Yeah.
And yeah, Chill with Jeremy Kushner. Absolutely.
That's a fine way to spend an evening.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I'm just thinking, since this show, you have like the canon of Go-Go's music. Is there a band or an artist that you love that you'd love to have their music incorporated into a show the way that this is? Have you thought about that? Or,
Oh my God.
I mean, it's a pretty daunting.
I was listening to
think.
George Michael this morning. That might be kind of fun, right?
Absolutely, George Michael's music.
George
That's a
Michael.
great idea.
Or like, I'm blanking right now. Who the you rich girl and you're gone? Hall and Oates.
Oh,
The
yes.
Hall and Oates musical would be really
great
cool.
choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Get on it, producers.
Yeah.
Cosign. I don't have any money, but you should do it.
Yeah.
I think we have time for another question.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Let's do one more. Was there a song from the Go-Go's that you were like most excited to sing or kind of nervous like about singing on stage?
Mad About You, I would say, which is like my big.
It's just a great song.
Yeah, but it's like my big number, and it's my first like solid amount of time on stage, and it just so happens to be by myself,
moving all over the place.
Yeah, and like I'm by myself for the first half of it, and
Yeah.
I've just done a bit where I sing it really badly because I'm nervous that everyone's there,
Right,
and then they
yes.
all leave. So like a bit of those nerves, I think, hang over into the actual.
where you've got
singing
the
of it.
audience like, can he sing this?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but then, my glorious male chorus of, dressed as sheep come out, and then it's
They
just,
back you up.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
It's ripping.
It's all about the
point.
support,
Absolutely. Well, like I said, I absolutely love the show. You will all love the show as well. Go see Head Over Heels, starring Andrew Durand, and an incredible cast at the Hudson Theater here on Broadway. Andrew, thank you so much for coming in and
Thank
chatting
you.
with us. Such a pleasure to speak
Yeah, it
with
was
you.
fun.
Caitlin, why don't you take us out and tell us about tomorrow's guest?
Of course. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We are live at 5 every single day on Facebook. You can listen to the podcast version of today's interview by going to wherever you listen to podcasts, typing in hashtag live at 5, and hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all the Broadway news and interviews. Be sure to tune in tomorrow when we talk to Anastasia's Zach Adkins about his upcoming solo Feinstein's 54 Below show.